Anthony in Virginia wants to talk about naturalism versus intelligent design. So welcome. Here we get more nature. Welcome, Anthony.
Hey, Matt. Hey, Shannon.
Hi.
I wanted to go down try to get into a discussion with you about design again. So.
Okay, let's party. So we put up the clock.
All right. Yeah, do whatever you want. All right. Can I go?
Go.
Go. Start the clock.
If it could be demonstrated that it's extremely unlikely that purely the unaided forces of nature could have produced life or its diversification, and there are certain aspects of living organisms that appear to be best explained as a product of intelligent activity, that would serve as a reasonable basis to believe in some willful, intelligent creator is the cause. Do you agree or disagree?
I don't fully understand.
So that sounds like an abductive argument, arguing towards the best explanation, and I don't find them to be compelling, especially when we're talking about things that we have limited information about. So,
and I'm and agreeing to, like, what if I posited this hypothetical that proves my argument? Do you agree that it would prove my argument? It's like, no, just like you argue from the material reality to get to your point.
So when we're talking, hang on. When we're talking about whether or not something is best explained by an intelligence, I think that we would agree that if I shuffled a deck of cards repeatedly and dealt them out and you got all 13 spades, that the best explanation for that, the most probable explanation, is that somehow or another I cheated. That through my ability to manipulate or whatever, that this hand is so incredibly unlikely that the fact that you got it is best explained by the fact that I cheated. But we also know that it's possible to get that hand without cheating. And so to tell us, to determine what the actual truth is, you need something more than, I think this is best explained by X, because sometimes the best explanation, given the information you currently have, is not correct.
Right. That's why I prefaced the statement with, if it could be demonstrated, because I want my goal is to try and find out if simply in the mind of an atheist, would that constitute information that potentially change?
You know what you're doing though right now? Like, this is like me saying, if I could demonstrate to you that my face was made out of, Swiss cheese and some sort of rocks, and I told you that was the case, would you agree that that's the case? If I create a hypothetical that begs the question and supports the conclusion of my argument, would you agree that my argument is correct? If given this hypothetical, that's what it seems like you're doing. So if you want to support intelligent design and you feel as though that intelligent design can be supported given the facts of material reality, you shouldn't have to posit hypotheticals. You should be able to point to instances in material reality that support your actual argument. If you believe it, that's clearly what you must have done. So show me what you did. How did you get to your belief that intelligent design makes some kind of sense given what you see in the world around you and understand about it that led you there? Saying to me, well, hypothetically, if I posited this philosophical thing, would you believe it? Because I need to understand your mind. Because if I posit a hypothetical and you don't agree with it, then atheist something. Like, why is intelligent design true without a hypothetical? Material reality.
Well, the reason I ask it that way is because I really don't want to go into trying to validate intelligent design. I'm trying to investigate people from an atheist perspective. Mm-hmm. Would that, just hypothetically, if it were to be demonstrated, do you think that would constitute reasonable evidence for belief in God? That's really what I want to.
So this entire call is so that you can investigate how we think, so that you can figure out how. Yeah, that's true too.
Because I'm curious to know, do atheists consider that
which God?
No specific God, but an intelligent.
Well, no. There's no way. There's nothing you could present me that could convince me that no specific God is the best explanation for something. You actually have to have properties, and you have to identify it. So if your argument proves no specific God, then it doesn't prove anything.
But it would be some sort of intelligent being beyond humanity, and which is preceding.
I tell you what, Anthony, we are low on time. There's only 14 minutes left. Either present the case, either shit or get off the pot. This is, okay. First of all, you're flawed in calling in to say, I want to find out to an atheist, what would this be? Well, Shannon and I are two atheists who may not necessarily agree on this, and there are countless others. Instead of worrying about what should convince an atheist, which is the process of popularizing something and preaching something, figure out what would convince scientists, what would be viewed as a rational argument for a proposition, not what convinced these two atheists on a show.
I'll do that next week then. Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Cool.
That's more than I got from Bill Craig, because when William Lane Craig decided to respond to my take on the end of the Kalam, he talked about how one of the wonderful things about the Kalam is that it doesn't overreach and start talking about morality, which makes it appealing. And I find it funny that he wants to dismiss me as a
God
popularizer when he's making a case for why this argument should be popular.
Yeah, because it's
yeah. I'll fully acknowledge I'm a popularizer of atheism, Bill, but you're a popularizer for Christianity, and as far as I can tell, little more. But
it just drives me crazy when people use an unfounded hypothetical and they think that that's somehow going to either prove their point or prove that even if their point was correct, I wouldn't accept it, which is usually what that's attempting to do. It's just like, prove your point then.